But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
How is Crawford, his composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo?
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford. He's
But weight classes,
he's the most composed guy. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No.
I think Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez.
I think he's too small. But then again, I thought he was too small for Spence, so shows what I know.
Fighters explain why it is anticipated that Canelo Alvarez will defeat Terence Crawford. Mike Tyson, a legendary boxer, is not convinced about this fight and has grave doubts about Crawford's prospects. Because of Canelo's stature, strength, and continuous pressure, he feels that this fight is not in Crawford's best interests and warns that facing him might not go well. Sun sees it as a risky task that could be too much for Crawford to manage.
Mike, I gotta say this. Terence Crawford, tremendous fighter. You're a big supporter of his. He wants to move up 3 weight classes and fight Canelo. What do you think?
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea. You know, I don't think, what would he have? I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. People have done things crazy like that before. It's just that he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
You posted the other day, there's a picture of you in a Rolls Royce, and you said, the quote is, "I can't remember how many of these I gave away." Tell me about that.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, wasn't used to having money. I said, want to have money. You know, you're not accustomed to that shit, man.
Yeah, but not everybody's Mike Tyson. You're very generous. You're a genuine, nice person. Tillman told me that one time you lent him his car, he kept it for like 3 months or something.
I don't know none of this shit. Listen, if you have money and you can't help nobody with it, what's the purpose of having it?
Canelo Alvarez is a source of inspiration for David Benovitz. He thinks that Canelo and Crawford's next bout is a worthy contest. B-Benz's admiration for Canelo's abilities and accomplishments in the ring highlights his upbeat attitude about the fight.
Come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight. And it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question over here. Do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's like, you know.
I definitely do use that as motivation because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
Rain Garcia highlights Canelo's physical prowess, pointing up his stature, strength, and power. He thinks that Canelo has a major advantage over Crawford, who is gaining weight because of these qualities. Classifications, Garcia thinks that Crawford may find it tough to overcome the physicality of Canelo because to the significant weight class gap.
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. So, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question, Ali. He said Teofimo and Boots are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and the winners would fight each other. Is that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm down. I don't care. Let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo, too.
Last one. I got to do this. I agree with you that there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there should be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about those bodies?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And for it to be like a mandatory thing, like why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about them because, you know, it might sue.
Given Canelo's record for landing strong blows, Sean Porter has voiced concerns about Crawford's ability to manage his striking strength. Porter doubts Crawford's capacity to tolerate such power, particularly in light of the weight and jump classifications. The general concern of Crawford's ability to withstand the physical strain of combating a naturally larger opponent is reflected in this concern.
the others say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Canelo's size and power advantages will help him win the bout, according to Mikey Garcia. He thinks that these factors will be important in deciding the result, with Canelo's physique being a deciding factor in the fight.
Too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, you know, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and you know, at that point it's more of a big fight, you know, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Roy Jones Jr. has acknowledged Crawford's ambition to compete against the best and commended Canelo's skills. He said that if Crawford is unable to defeat Canelo, it may be a major turning point in his career and establish Canelo as one of the best fighters in the sport.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, you know, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, you know, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my God.
Robert Garcia favors Canelo Alvarez in a potential fight against Terence Crawford, citing Canelo's size, power, and experience at higher weight classes. While Garcia acknowledges Crawford's skills and strength, he believes Canelo's physical advantages will take over as the fight progresses. He predicts that Crawford would have a strong start, winning the first 6 to 8 rounds. But ultimately, Canelo's power would overwhelm him in the later rounds.
But it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford. Against Madrimov, people are going to say, oh, he had some hiccups. Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Madrimov was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So, come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." You know, but who's he beating? He unified the what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter.
Garcia also suggests that if Crawford takes the fight, it would be primarily for the massive payday rather than legacy, as he has already secured his future and lives a responsible life. He respects Crawford's accomplishments and sees the fight being competitive early on, but he ultimately expects Canelo to dominate. Garcia's analysis aligns with the general consensus that Canelo's size and power would be the deciding factors in the matchup.
What's the smart bet on Crawford Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. And you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo?
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
No, man. Crawford is fucking gangster. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably gonna be 40-1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
3 weight class,
3-4-1. No crees?
Nah.
It's not gonna be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No. When you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just
who wins straight out?
I think it's gonna be maybe 3-1, 4-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2-1. Maybe
I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
So they finally announced Ryu's fight. Gary Russell, what do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights at this level? It's going to be, finally you guys will be, the first time you ever go on a Tank fight, right? To work a corner?
We're a corner at Tank's fight.
Is Tank's the main event?
Eddie Hearn, the promoter, has voiced doubts about Crawford's prospects of defeating Canelo, pointing to the substantial weight differential as his main worry. He believes it is unbelievable that Crawford is taking on such a task, suggesting that the physical gap could be too huge to overcome.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.